Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my Week 10 previews and analysis. This video is for the game between the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. This game will take place in Chicago. Both these teams come in with a record of 5-3. They're three-way tie in that NFC North, with the Packers joining these two teams. And, in this one, Jay Cutler will play. He's going to come back from his groin injury, I think, a little bit sooner than most expected. He will get the start this week after Luke McCown filled in rather well last week, I thought, versus the Packers. You have now, since Cutler is coming off this groin injury, the play of that offensive line is going to be very key. So Jordan Mills and the gang up front are really going to need to produce and do better against this defensive line than they did in the first meeting between these two teams in Detroit. It might have been that Detroit's defensive line's best game of the season in their first meeting. They were in Cutler's face all day, forced turnovers, whether it be fumbles or the 3 interceptions Cutler threw in the first game. So because of that injury especially, giving Cutler the time he needs to be able to get the ball to his receivers, I think is key. Again, the Lions secondary was helped in that first matchup because of the play of that defensive line. As I said before, it resulted in 3 interceptions in that game, and 2 by Luis Delmas and 1 by Glover Quinn. So we'll see how that materializes, but I think that's going to be a big factor in this game. Also, what I think is going to be big is, if you flip it around here, the Lions running backs, how they match up with the safeties and the linebackers of the Bears. Because remember, the Reggie Bush and Joyke Bell had a good game the first game against the Bears, and now Lance Briggs and DJ Williams aren't playing. You saw Green Bay have success running the ball last week. I look for Reggie Bush to be heavily involved from a running standpoint and from catching the ball out of the backfield standpoint. Look, with Nate Burleson out, with Ryan Broyles out, look for, again, Reggie Bush to be that complement opposite Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson's not going to be Superman every week. Sometimes there are going to be teams that limit him to some degree, and those are the games where Reggie Bush needs to step up, and I think you're going to get that certainly out of him this week. So that's how I pretty much break this down, but I really look for that offensive line of the Bears, because I think Jay Cutler might be coming back a little bit too early from this groin injury. First of all, let me say I get why he's coming back early, and I respect the fact that he's trying to get back on the field in this very, very important NFC North game. But with that said, you've seen some guys come back from injury, I thought, a little too soon this year, and how it's negatively affected them on the field. I think that's where we're headed here with Jay Cutler. So that offensive line in both a pass protection and a run blocking sort of scheme here, I think is going to be very important. Matt Forte, I think, needs to have a good game in this one like he did last week versus Green Bay. Overall, though, I think Reggie Bush is really going to exploit the secondary and linebackers. And I also think that in the end, that defensive line is going to be too much and get to Cutler, similar to how they did in the first meeting. And I just hope, I like to see the best players on the field as possible every week, like I'm sure all you guys do. I just hope Cutler didn't come back too soon and gets hurt, and now it's a situation where he's hurt even more, for the rest of the season. So, because I think Cutler came back too early again, and I like, again, that matchup with the Lions running backs versus the safeties and the linebackers of the Bears. I like the Lions. It's an even spread, so I like the Lions straight up to win the game. Guys, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I preview and recap every game every week, and I'm always talking the news of the day in the NFL. So be sure to subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have a great night.